For the first time, an Air Force spokesman sat down with ABC 7 News to address the contaminated water in Clovis connected to toxic chemicals in a firefighting foam used at Cannon Air Force Base. That includes the water at Highland Dairy, where thousands of cows were poisoned for years by chemicals referred to as PFAS or PFOA. ABC 7's Morgan Burrell has been following this story closely and has details on what the Air Force is doing to help those affected.
Welcome to Highland Dairy.
This is our livelihood. This is our 401k. This is everything we worked for.
This is Art Scopp's job 24/7. It's his source of income, his bread and butter.
Yeah, that's our retirement package, and as of right now, they've taken that all away from us.
What was once a full functioning dairy with over 40 employees is now a bare bones crew. Scopp, alongside his son Ryan, are working to dry off thousands of cows. No one wants this milk.
Our cows are quarantined and we cannot sell the cows. So we have no income on cows or milk. And because we can't sell the cows, we are having some of the older animals that are weaker passing away and dying.
These animals have been drinking water with contaminant levels that exceed the EPA's lifetime health advisory for humans. But Chris Seguda says the advisory does not include levels for animals.
The Air Force has exceeded the lifetime health advisory at 3 of the sampling locations, and those range above the 70 parts per trillion.
Okay.
Into, I don't remember the exact specific numbers on the top end of our concentrations, but above the LHAs.
The Air Force says it is using groundwater, surface water, soil and sediment sampling to map the potential movement of the underground plume. Can you ensure that this doesn't grow or spread?
We're creating that forward presence and starting to program for our remedial investigation so we can have those answers in the near future.
Do you know when that will happen?
So the Air Force, in an effort to create a forward presence, has started to program these requirements in fiscal year 2021 in the event that promulgated standards are established so we can move on the cleanup and mitigation of this contamination.
Although he's glad the Air Force has acknowledged the problem, Scopp tells me they're not moving fast enough. His business is failing. He says he needs the Air Force to be proactive.
This plume is spreading, it's moving, and there are other farms that could be affected in the future. So at this moment, they are just dragging their feet.
On top of that, he's learned the water is affecting his health too.
We went ahead and got our own blood test, and mine was about 28. My wife's was an 8, so we were double and 7 times higher than the national average.
While Scopp deals with his potentially life-changing health issues, Seguda tells me the firefighting foam that caused this is not used anymore.
But with the new carbon chained and the new agent, it is more environmentally friendly, but it still does contain PFAS constituents.
Seguda says the Air Force hopes to prevent issues like this by going through a process to prevent future contamination.
We do have a process where we identify, if we have a release or something of that nature, where there is a protocol to investigate and look at that contamination as well.
In Clovis, Morgan Burrell, ABC 7 News.
Right now, the Air Force is providing bottled water to Scopp and his family to drink. Next week, Scopp says he will head to Washington, D.C. in hopes of meeting lawmakers and industry leaders. He is advocating for a bill that will work to set better standards for PFAS and PFOA in agricultural drinking water.